So I'm going to go in regardless. Let me first do this so everybody can see the scene. Does everybody notice that, again, Ani to the far left has Anubis or Anpu holding his hand as his deeds are being measured, as his heart and spirit is being judged. Then we have Jehuti recording the judgment. Then we have Ani here, we have Heru, and we have the Egyptian or ancient Kemetic Necher known as Asar, whom most people call Osiris. Now that we got that straight, watch this. In looking at the judgment scene, here's something that you will absolutely notice that is extremely powerful. In this judgment scene in the papyrus of Ani, to the far left, you have Ani dressed in white, and he is holding the hand of Anpu or Anubis. Anubis is the Necher of the afterlife, of the Dua, of the world of the ancestors, of the world beyond our world. In the middle, you have Anpu again, looking at and checking to ensure that the scale is accurately measuring everything that Jehuti is recording. And that's Jehuti the scribe recording everything. Then you have Ani a second time, also dressed in white. But this time, and I want y'all to pay attention, you have a Necher next to Ani that's different. That Necher is called Heru. Most people know him as Horus. Over here, to the right of Horus, is a deity or a king seated on a throne holding the emblems of kingship, might, and power. And that deity or that Necher, his name is Asar, whom most people know as Osiris. Therefore, Heru is the son of Asar or Osiris. Let me take the time to point out something that most of y'all who've seen this scene before never realized before. Because on closer examination, of the judgment scene, in particular, where you actually see Ani being carried to Asar by Heru, the son, I want everybody to look at Asar's face. Yes, I know you guys notice that he's green. And unlike Brother Polite, we know that he's not green because he's an alien from the planet Risk, like what Brother Polite teaches. But we know that he's depicted as green because the thing that Asar is credited for in part in introducing and bringing to ancient Kemet is vegetation, farming, and agriculture, right? And some of the earliest peoples that worshipped him were farmers and agriculturists. This is why Asar is depicted as green. But I need you to focus on the features of Asar. Look at Asar's face. Because if you're paying attention, Asar has the exact same face as Ani. Because Asar is Ani. Ani is Asar. The ancient people of Kemet taught that when you die, you rejoin in full capacity nature. And even the Bible teaches that when we die, we rejoin in full capacity God. Hence it says in Psalm 82, I said, ye are Elohim. Ye are God. So if you notice, Osiris got the same face of Ani because they're the same person. One of the greatest cultural and spiritual motifs and signs that a person is truly divinely enlightened is to know that at the highest realms of practicing morality, ethics, and righteousness, that we in fact are the divine that we seek, that we in fact are the God or nature that we seek. This is why in the Hebrew language, the word for prayer is in what we call the hitpa'el stem, which literally means, the way to say pray in Hebrew translates as praying to yourself. Hitpa'el. Praying to yourself. Hitpa'lel. Why? Why is it that in biblical Hebrew, the way to say prayer literally translates as you're praying to yourself? That's because the God that you're searching for, the God that you're seeking, dwells within you. You share in that experience called Elohim. You share in that experience called nature. You share in that experience called God. And to the greatest possible capacity of sharing in that experience, you must first emulate the divine by practicing high morality, virtue, standards, ethics, and righteousness. You can only rejoin the divine in full capacity or come to the true realization of self that you in fact are part of the divine, so as to say you also are divine, is to first practice high morality, ethics, and righteousness. So if you focus on Osiris or Asar, you will notice that he is Ani, which is why I told y'all we're going to do things differently today, right? Watch this. I'm not done with y'all. Which is why Ani is now going to be addressed from this point forward, not simply as Ani, but Ani from this point forward, guys, is now being addressed as Ani Asar. I hope y'all hearing me. Ani Asar. From this point forward, the Kemetic text recognizes Ani not as Ani alone. Ani is now also called Ani Asar. Ani Asar. Because upon transitioning, being found innocent and righteous, the deceased person is now declared to have joined nature, is now declared to have joined Elohim, is now declared to have joined God. And let me tell y'all something else. What do y'all think Christ consciousness is about? What do y'all think the role of the Messiah is about? I want everybody now to focus on Heru, the son of Asar. And I want y'all to notice one critical fact. Am I the only one that noticed that the only way that Ani was able to come to Asar was through his son, Heru? Don't that sound familiar, Bible people? Because a lot of y'all believe that Christ consciousness or Christ himself is the only route and avenue to the Creator. What I need y'all to know, Bible people, is that the people of ancient Kemet knew and understood that perfectly. They knew and understood that there are people in this world who live a life so perfect that they become a model and an example. Their actions become exemplary of what righteousness truly is and looks like. And by emulating and following those people, they can become one with the divine. They can reach and meet and connect and become one with the divine. So I need y'all to really follow me now, because now it's getting heavy. Notice that the only way you came to the Father was through the Son. If you are a Messianic Israelite, you know you believe that. Even Israelites that stay in the Old Testament, let me rap to you for a second. Exodus chapter 4, verse 22 says, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. So the Old Testament community says that they disregard Christ. They only want to follow God. So let me talk to you for a moment. Because even in keeping with the analogy that the only way to get to the Father is through the Son, you notice that in the book of Exodus chapter 4, verse 22, Israel is called God's son. And God teaches throughout the Bible that all of the nations of the world must go through Israel in order to come to him. Hence it says in the book of Zechariah chapter 8, verse 10, at the end of days, all nations, or 10 representatives of the nations, shall grab the garment of him that is an Israelite and say, come, let us go with you, for we have heard that God is with you. The only way to get to the Father is through the Son. But I ain't done with y'all yet, because it gets deeper. I just pointed out to you, literally, that Asar is Ani. If you look closely at the face of Asar, it's actually Ani. And then Ani is addressed in the text, not simply as Ani, but Ani Asar, because after being declared innocent, he now has rejoined the divine. He now is part of nature. He's now part of Elohim. But here is what I need to show you. This Christ consciousness, or Heru consciousness, look at what it was necessary to do. Christ consciousness, Heru consciousness, is necessary not to take you to someone outside of you, not to take you to someone far and distant, but to take you so deep within yourself so as to show you that you are the divine that you've been searching for the whole time. And the reason why you're not aware of it, most of you, is because you are not acting upon those divine principles that the ancestors left on record for you. Christ consciousness, Heru consciousness, is here to show you that the divine is you. But it is only activated within you when you practice high morality, ethics, and righteousness. So yeah, the only way to get to the Father is through the Son, but we got to go deeper than that, because you are in part the Father. Starting to make sense now? When Christ says in the New Testament, I and the Father are one. I got y'all attention? Y'all paying the hell attention to what the hell I'm saying? Christ says in the New Testament, I and the Father are one. And some of us are so silly that we thought that he was wrong to say that. If you follow high morality, ethics, and righteousness as the Father gave to man, then you are one with him, because you are in perfect synchronicity with him in essence. So you are perfectly now one. To know that is to know the divine. To know that is to know thyself.